Coming up on the Paper Talk today, the big news we're going to be getting into is Scott McTominay going to Napoli. We had this story yesterday, Napoli having a bid accepted by Manchester United for around £25.4 or £25.3 million for Scott McTominay. It looks like that money might fund a bid, or should fund a bid as well, for Manuel Ugarte. So we're going to have an update on that. It looks like we're going to see Scott McTominay heading to Napoli. Hopefully, Manuel Ugarte coming into Manchester United has obviously been a long-term target for Manchester United. Well, I say long-term, a summer-long target for Manchester United. Also, Jadon Sancho, what is happening there? It looks like Chelsea are trying to get a deal done for Jadon Sancho to go to Stamford Bridge, one that could involve Raheem Sterling. Didn't look like that was going to happen. However, there have been some developments, a little bit of an update, so we're going to be getting into all that. But Juventus, they're interested in Jadon Sancho as well. There's been a story there developing that they're interested in a swap deal for Chiesa. So it's all happening now. We've got the last few days of the transfer window. It looks like Scott McTominay is going to be heading out. Manuel Ugarte hopefully should be heading in. Also, Jadon Sancho, is he going to be going to Chelsea? Is he going to be going to Juventus? There's a lot of sort of merry-go-round going on here. So we're going to get into all that. So let's find out just what is going on with transfers at Manchester United. Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and the weather is pretty mild, so you might not need your parkas today. I'm sure whatever you're wearing, you're going to be looking very demure, very mindful. Loads of stories to get into, so we will crack on. Before we do, though, make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers, and with your support, we will get there. Now, the big news, obviously, if I can get my words out, centres around Scott McTominay. We broke this yesterday. Well, we didn't break it. David Ornstein did. But we covered it on a live yesterday that Scott McTominay looks like he's heading to Napoli. A bid has been accepted by Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano gave an update late last night, basically saying that McTominay is up for the move. The terms are almost there, almost agreed. It looks like the deal is going to be, or the personal terms are going to be similar to what Aaron Wan-Bissaka had when he moved to West Ham United. So it looks like the deal is almost at here we go stage. Not quite, but almost at is. By the time you watch this, we may already have had that. Manchester United and Napoli agreeing a fee of around £25.3 million, around €30 million for Scott McTominay. That, of course, is pure profit for Manchester United because he's an academy graduate, so it helps with the PSR. It also helps with the Manuel Ugarte signing. We had this yesterday. We mentioned the fact that Ornstein said it in his article, and Fabrizio Romano has mentioned it again as well. The fact that that money will be used, it seems, to pay for Manuel Ugarte for a permanent deal. So it looks like Scott McTominay will head out. He'll go to Napoli. Manuel Ugarte should come in from PSG. Expect this all to be done in the next sort of 24, 48 hours. I mean, there's not long left of the transfer window anyway, and it looks like Manchester United are managing to get the business they need to get done, because Scott McTominay's money will fund the bid for the fee for Scott McTominay will fund the bid. I'm so excited, I can't cope. Will fund the bid for Manuel Ugarte. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I was looking at socials yesterday, and I was going through the comments yesterday, and the vast majority of people seem to be on board with this. He seems to be saying, look, Scott McTominay, he's not going to start for Manchester United. He is a good player, and he's served the purpose, and he's scored some big goals and all the rest of it. But Manuel Ugarte is someone who comes straight into this Manchester United team in a role we need. There was some people, though, saying, look, Scott McTominay, 10 goals last season, trusted servant at the club, someone who's always got on with it. We couldn't use him. We need Scott McTominay. So there's a bit of a debate going on. So get involved and let me know what you think about it. Are you happy with the fact that Scott McTominay's moving on? Are you happy with the fact we're bringing in Manuel Ugarte? Do you wish we'd be able to bring in Manuel Ugarte without letting Scott McTominay go? I want to hear your thoughts, so please do get involved in the chat and the comments. Another player who looks like he could be heading out of the door at Old Trafford is Jadon Sancho. Now, for all the love Scott McTominay receives from the Manchester United fans, even if you don't think he's good enough, I think Manchester United fans appreciate him. There's not a lot of love for Jadon Sancho at the minute. He didn't play at the weekend against Brighton. The manager said there was some sort of issue there. We're not quite sure what it is, but it doesn't seem like it was an injury. It seems like there's still a bit of an issue with Jadon Sancho and the manager. What is going on there, I'm not quite sure. If we do get an update, obviously we'll give you. Now, the latest news reports indicate that he could be heading to Chelsea. I've seen this everywhere. I've seen it in the Manchester Evening News. I've seen it in other places as well. I think the Telegraph broke this late yesterday afternoon, saying that basically Chelsea were up for signing Jadon Sancho. Now, we had this last week, but they were saying what they want to do is they want to do some sort of swap deal with Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling coming to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea. Now, Raheem Sterling, I think he's 29 years old. He's had a very good career, very sort of productive career. If you look at his goals, you look at his assists, you look at his trophies, he's won a lot of trophies, obviously at Manchester City, scored a lot of goals as well. He's a very, very talented winger. The question is, do you want him at Manchester United? Do you think he can come in and do a job? He didn't have the greatest season at Chelsea last season. This season, he's not even getting in their squad. He's struggling to make the matchday squad. Surplus to requirements there. Now, that's not the be-all and end-all. Just because you're not getting into the Chelsea squad, which is, let's have it right, Chelsea's a bit of a bin fire. I know they've been winning football matches, but it is a bit of a shambles there. Doesn't mean you're not still a talented player. Would you have him at Old Trafford? I'm a bit lukewarm about this one. I'm not going to lie. It's not just because he played for Liverpool and Manchester City, and I hate people that did that. I just feel that I worry there's a touch of the Alexis Sanchez is about this one. I worry that this is a player who, despite only being 29, is almost on the downward trajectory of his career. Some players do sort of peak a little bit earlier than others. He's obviously not had the best season last season. This season, we don't know what's happening with him because he's not been playing. I'm not that keen on it, if I'm being brutally honest, but I'm happy to be proven wrong if it does happen. Now, there were some suggestions that Ben Chilwell could also be thrown into the mix as well. It could be Sterling and Chilwell for Jadon Sancho. However, I think it's Jason Burt that was reporting this in the Telegraph, says it doesn't look like the Chilwell offer is real. Doesn't look like that one's going to happen. However, there is a real interest there in swapping Raheem Sterling for Jadon Sancho. I imagine there will be some money involved as well, because basically Jadon Sancho is what? Is he 25? Raheem Sterling's 29. There's a big age difference there. Also, Manchester United paid 70 odd million quid for Jadon Sancho. Would we have paid that for Raheem Sterling? Probably not. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see the sort of permutations of this. It looks like I'm not doing a sort of steal Stephen Howson's thunder and give this a transfer rating. I think he did that the other day. But if I was to rate this transfer likelihood of happening, I think it's about a 2 out of 10. So it's not completely beyond the realms of possibility. I just don't really see it happening. It's not realistic. However, you never know. There might be something there. It's one to keep an eye on. Now, there was reports as well, I think coming out of Italy, Gazzetta dello Sport, saying that Juve were interested in Jadon Sancho. They wanted to do a deal for Federico Chiesa to come to Manchester United and Jadon Sancho to go the other way. I think the Evening News were reporting this again this morning. It doesn't look like that one's going to happen. Doesn't look like there's a real enthusiasm for that deal from Manchester United. I don't think Chiesa is someone that Erik ten Hag is particularly interested in. I don't think Manchester United are interested in doing that deal. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll keep an eye on it just in case something does sort of change. But at the minute, it doesn't look like there's going to be a swap deal for Chiesa and Jadon Sancho in terms of Sterling. Jadon Sancho, excuse me, bit of windy pops. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. It's one of those where maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I doubt it will, but there's definitely an interest or a keenness for Manchester United to move Jadon Sancho on, because he's just not playing for Manchester United. He's not doing anything. He's not even getting in the squad. And he's on about 300k a week, I think, if you look at his wages. It is kind of ridiculous what is going on. I'm stood here saying that Chelsea's a bit of a bin fire. It's a bit preposterous. We've got a player on 300 grand a week or whatever, and he's not even getting in the squad. So that needs sorting. Hopefully it can get resolved. Well, it needs to get resolved sooner rather than later. Hopefully as well, Manuel Ugarte can be arriving here sooner rather than later. And hopefully the Scott McTominay deal can get over the line. It looks like all parties involved want to make that move happen. And we wish him well. He's been a very loyal servant to Manchester United. Scored some big goals and obviously helps us win a couple of trophies too. I think more than a couple. So I don't know. He actually is probably about 2. I don't think he was part of the team that was the Jose Mourinho team that won a few trophies, was he? So yeah, won a couple of trophies, scored some big goals. Obviously, that goal against Manchester City, the goal against Leeds, or the 2 goals against Leeds. So yeah, we wish him well. We're going to be back later on today with the Paddock podcast, and make sure, if you're not doing already, you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Also, you can go and check out all the reaction from the game against Brighton. So if you want to put yourself through that, why not see the take from the likes of Joe Smith, myself and Stephen Howson. This has been the Paper Talk outside a pretty mild Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.